Welcome back.
How was it telling your story? We are made of story. It is our greatest gift to the world. When one of us finds strength in our own narrative, we all begin to heal.
Why potions?
We believe that knowing and sharing vital stories has a tremendous amount of power for transformation. We conjure potions to weave our stories into a transformational creative force. So let's continue our journey. Are you excited to find out what potion you're going to end up with so you can bring your unique healing to your corner of the world?
And now, Act 2 of Black Benatar.
I was at an event, now this is pre-COVID obviously, I was at an event and I saw Shonda Rhimes and I'm like, Shonda, oh my God, you look fabulous, how do you like my sweater, etc. And Shonda was like, I'm so glad Black Bennatar that you're here because I'm having some trouble with this new script that we're working on. I have been brought in by Pixar to do the next Toy Story 5. And there are some real flaws with this new show, Woody's New Roommate. And I'm like, girl, I got you. I do equity and inclusion work. I am your girl for consulting. Let's do this. So I got the script and I started reading Woody's New Roommate. It was starring Woody, playing Woody. And, Woody makes a mistake, and then it's starring Christy Black Barbie. We're all familiar with Christy Black Barbie. We were friends when I was very young. She was my first Barbie friend, in fact. So there's some plot issues with the show. So basically, it breaks down that right now, currently, Woody makes a mistake by saying something or doing something inappropriate, right, to Christy. So the setup is that there's a new toy box and the old toys are getting culled through and Christy Black Barbie wants to get in the new high-rise toy box, right? So currently the arc of the story is that Woody meets Christy, Woody offends Christy, Christy asserts a boundary, Woody cries, Christy consoles Woody, Woody kind of like sad and then gets mad at Christy. Woody demands an apology. Christy apologizes. Christy does not move in. Okay, all right, okay. So that's where they were going, but they were having trouble with the storyline. So I wanted to do a deeper dive and kind of look at Woody's storyline. Let's examine Woody's storyline together. Woody's journey. Woody interviews Christy to be a roommate, right? Woody's really excited, and he puts on, a dashiki. He's really getting super stoked to have a Black roommate, and he's like, I've got it. I'm going to make them feel super comfortable by putting on a dashiki. And you know what else is going to make Christy feel super comfortable? I'm going to keep quoting Beyonce lyrics at her. I bet this is going to bring it on. Now, see, Woody is squarely on well-meaning way. He really wants Christy to be the new roommate. He's never had a Black queer roomie before. Well, here's the challenge. Woody starts rounding culturally inappropriate Allie. Christy's smiling at Woody, and Woody feels like things are going well, and he compliments her hair. All things are going well. Christy smiles, says thank you, and then, Woody reaches out to touch her hair. This hair is very expensive. So touching is touchy. Well, guess what? Woody lands in call out corner because Christy is not having it. She smacks Woody's hands away and is like, get those dirty cowboy hands away from my new do. Woody is embarrassed and ashamed, and then he just starts apologizing excessively, and then he's crying, and then feelings freeways. He lands squarely in Shame Falls. He's talking about his good intentions, how he's got a black friend. He's going on and on. But he's so overcome with shame, he just stops. And then he gets mad. He gets mad at Christy for calling his hands dirty and for not taking a compliment. I mean, he's giving her a compliment. And then he declares, I'm not a racist. Accountability overpass. Woody is getting defensive. He's upset that he thinks Christy's a racist and that now he really needs to handle this. He really needs to handle this, and he plops himself over into Delusion Gardens, and Christy apologizes, running out of the house, and Woody celebrates, thinking, you know what I did? I just protected the toy box. I'm a hero. You think Christy moves in at the end of this narrative arc? No. Christy does not go to the toy box, but why? Okay, well, I was like, Shonda, girl, we got to look at Christy's journey. Christy Black Barbie let's see what her story has to tell us, because we got to get this plot worked out. Okay. So, Christy Black Barbie's journey. Well, Christy's at well-meaning way. I mean, she is excited and wants to be in the toy box, right? She's looking forward to making new friends. She hopes everyone likes her new hair because it was expendy and she wanted people to think, she was bringing her best game to the toy box. When they get to culturally inappropriate alley, Christy thinks Woody's dashiki is a little weird, but she likes Beyonce, and who is she to judge? And she figures it can't get any worse, right? She smiles when Woody compliments her hair, and then he reaches out to touch it. Christy is caught off guard and reacts defensively. She smacks his hands away and tells Woody to keep his dirty cowboy hands to himself. Maybe not her finest moment, but she was surprised. She was shook. She said, this do is expensive and it needs to last until my next session with the stylist. Well, that is when Woody takes his trip down Feelings Freeway and Christy is feeling uncomfortable. Christy just wants to salvage the interview. She just wants to move up into that high-rise toy box. Well, Woody starts crying. And now, Christy is trapped. She's got to console him. I mean, she's like, if I can get him just to calm down, maybe I can get into the toy box. Shame falls. Christy's trying to explain, trying to pacify. She says, maybe next time just ask before you touch my hair, and I'll do better. I won't smack your hands away. I will do better. I can do better. Accountability overpass. No, sorry. Woody's not having it. Woody's mad, and he's demanding apology and attacking her, calling her racist. Well, Christy's getting to Delusion Gardens, and basically Christy's feeling kind of unsafe. She's quickly apologizes and runs out the door at top speed because she's pretty much certain Woody might be a racist. Here's the thing, you think Christy moved in? Not at the end of that story either. Christy doesn't follow up. She's certain she dodged a bullet. She'd basically rather stay in the Goodwill pile. Okay. So we can see how there are two different narratives going on in this film. And so it wasn't testing well. So we needed to kind of get back into that narrative. And so I'm like, Shonda, girl, let's talk. Let's talk about using a cultural allyship model. Remember this? Engaged learning plus action times responsibility minus shame. All right. I think this is where we can go. But Shonda's like, what do you mean shame? And I'm like, Shonda, here's the thing. When you enter shame into a plot line, it stops the action, right? Shame is a focus on the self. I am bad. Woody went shame falls. I am bad. I am a mistake, right? Shame avoids change. Shame is like, I'm done. I hate you. You're a racist. You made me feel upset and I'm done. I'm not engaging anymore. But guilt. Guilt. We always hear that guilt is bad, but guilt actually, it is a motivator, right? Guilt is a focus on the behavior, right? You're not bad. You just did something bad, right? You're not a mistake. You just made a mistake, right? Guilt allows you to motivate to change. So I think we have to make sure that we are not engaging shame when we think we are engaging guilt, and that we're engaging guilt when we think we're engaging shame. We want to be in that place of like, I can do better. I can learn. I can change. And you know what I always say is that, there's no time to make the right decision, right? So if you mess up, if you have a hard time with something, don't worry about it. There is no time like the present to make the right decision. Learn, get yourself back up and get back into the game, because values are forever. And so equity is a value. Cultural equity is a value. And sometimes we don't get it right. We're humans. We're imperfect. And if someone's wagging their finger at you, you just say, my job is to keep trying, right? My job is to use my guilt plus motivation to create responsibility, a sense of responsibility in myself, right? To make better. But first, before we can what does responsibility mean even? Let's talk about the 4 R's of responsibility. You want to recognize, right? If something happens, you want to recognize. You want to stop. You want to acknowledge, participating in the behavior, like just really understand what the behavior was. What was the cause of tension? Listen to your mind and heart, right? Something happens, take a minute. And if you have the ability and it feels tense, retract. Retract so you can get to reflection, right? So number 2, our responsibility is reflection. This is that part where you analyze a situation, where you understand where you went wrong. Examine your guilt for information. The guilt is telling you something. It's telling you that you care about something. It's telling you could tell you what you need to work on in order to forgive yourself, right? Guilt is an incredible indicator if we just know how to use it. Think about how a person might feel if they had experienced that. Think about what does it reveal about you, right? What does it reveal about your background? Reflection is this amazing point where we get closer to our understanding ourselves and our intentions that we put into the world. The 3rd R is to research, right? So once you've done your reflection and you've sort of gotten a real understanding of the situation through analysis, you can start to realign your actions and your intentions. Research is that next step where you actually get to turn that guilt into engaged learning, right? Let's really talk about it. Let's really dig in. What was the content of your potential gaffe? How can you be a proactive learner about situations where discomfort, racial tension came up? Can you investigate it? Can you find out why it's problematic? Can you Google it? And then last repair. Okay, but don't run out the door and apologize to every person you see, right? Reparative action is not the same as finding that exact person and apologizing to them, right? Reparative action is about how you'll fix your mistake. And the mistake that we're making as a collective culture is the one of not engaging in equitable practices and processes. So repair is about how do you make a substantive shift in yourself and in potentially those around you, right? That's repair. We don't have to do a tit for tat. We are running our own race, right? We have found our own skin in the game for equity. And so repair is about that paying it forward. It doesn't, sometimes you have the opportunity to go back and right wrongs, you know. But I also think in the case of a system of equity and a process, well, why not look for the ways that we can pay our work forward to the future?
Let's come back to our potions in progress right now.
It's time to make our list of ingredients. Now take your piece of paper and make 2 columns. At the top, write the name or some description of your story. Now, at the top of one column, write sensory experiences. And at the top of the other column, write powers discovered or desired. Write a list of all the sensory experiences you recall from that story you shared. Be vivid and descriptive, bold and tasty. What did it smell like? What did you feel? What did you see and what sounds surrounded you? Write the power or powers you discovered in that story, or the power or powers you wished you'd had access to in that moment.
Thanks, Ms. Tery. When we talk about powers in relation to making these potions, we're thinking of those skills, influences, perspectives that inspire movement or change within you or the world around you. When you have your list of ingredients, you can return to the potion making process and see what it would be like if Woody had a community of wiggly, stumbly cowboys like me.